Hi guys, it's Kathy. I'm sorry I'm late again. I am sorry I'm late again. Man, I gotta get my life together. Welcome to level 1 or W. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Alright. Wow, we even have Josh up before me. Even Josh was awake before me today. No, I didn't get your text. Is it a text? Text. Yes, I needed it. I don't know who woke me up though because I didn't recognize the phone number. Oh, damn it. It was Monica. I could have talked to Monica, but I didn't get to the phone in time. Oh, oh, that hurts my heart. I was this close to talking to Monica. Uh, it's okay. Yeah, it was you. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am, I am sorry. I listen. What we're gonna do today? It sounds bad at first, but it's not. They're going to say child abuse, and it's not like that. But it is. But it's not. It's not horrific at all, and it's not. I mean, it's a court case, so something bad happened, but it's not like child abuse. But it is. But it's not. So don't worry. Don't worry. You're not gonna sit here and cry all morning. Judge Wolf. We're going to Judge Wolf today. Tennessee. We're gonna hang out with Neon for a bit today. He had just given jury instructions. Nope, that's not right. Well, yeah, it is. He picked a jury, and then he instructed them what the trial's going to be about, and I skipped all that. Hi, James. And when some of the lawyers stand up to say something, it's hard to hear. But everything else you can hear fine, except, of course, the verdict. You cannot hear the verdict. But Judge Wolf will re-say the verdict back, and then we'll hear it. I don't think we're going to finish today. We might not even start if I can't find this stupid play button. Oh. There we go.
In the Circuit Court for Cheatham County, Tennessee at Ashland City, September term grand jury 2023. The grand jurors of Cheatham County, Tennessee, duly impaneled and sworn upon their oaths do present that on or about April 15th, 2013 in Cheatham County, Tennessee, and prior to the finding of this presentment, Edgar Harrison then and there did unlawfully, knowingly, and other than by accidental means treat or neglect BB. He was a minor at the time. Date of birth 12/27/2006, a child under 18 years of age in such a manner as to inflict injury or adversely affect the health and welfare of the said child in violation of TCA 39-15-401, which is against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee. Count two, the grand jurors of Cheatham County, Tennessee, duly impaneled and sworn upon their oaths to present that on or about April 15th, 2023 in Cheatham County, Tennessee, and prior to the finding of this presentment, Edgar Harrison, then and there, did unlawfully, intentionally, and knowingly cause serious bodily injury to Chantel Bracey when the said Edgar Harrison committed aggravated assault upon said Chantel Bracey. A further description to the grand jurors aforesaid unknown in violation of TCA 39-13-102, which is against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee. Count three, the grand jurors of Cheatham County, Tennessee, duly impaneled and sworn upon their oaths to present that on or about April 15th, 2023 in Cheatham County, Tennessee, and prior to finding of this presentment, Edgar Harrison, then and there, did unlawfully, feloniously, intentionally, and knowingly cause bodily injury to BB, date of birth 12/27/2006, in violation of TCA 39-13-10, which is against the peace and dignity of the state of Tennessee, all signed by W. Ray Crouch Jr., District Attorney General.
To that indictment, how does the defendant plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Not guilty plea has been entered. Ladies and gentlemen, the next stage would be the opening statements of the attorneys. Everybody still okay? Does anybody need a break at the moment? We'll break after these opening statements before we begin the trial. Willoughby, you may address the jury.
I'll be very brief with you. The facts of this case they're complicated but simple, if that's possible. On April 15th, as you heard, of 2023, our first witness will be Miss Brianna Kaler with a K.
Let me ask this, is the rule requested?
Yes,
Yes.
Rule has been requested, so any witness who is going to testify in this matter should go outside of the courtroom and remain outside of the courtroom until you're called to testify. You're not to discuss the testimony of any other witness with anyone until you yourself have testified. Counsel are under a continuing duty to ensure that the rule is complied with. I apologize, Mr. Willoughby.
no, it's fine.
You may continue.
I think I was saying 2023. It's 1007 Caitlin Court in Pleasant View. Our first witness, Ms. Brianna Kaler, was at her home. While she was at her home, she was babysitting, I believe, some of her siblings as well as some other children. There is a banging on her front door. That banging is coming from Mrs. Harrison, Mr. Harrison's wife. She claims that some of the children in the home have in their possession a cell phone that she has used, I believe, Life 360 and Find My iPhone to locate, and she is demanding to come in and get the phone. Miss Kaler then shuts the door and locks it, calls the police. She also calls her neighbors, and those neighbors are going to be Chantel Bracey, who's an adult, and her son, Braden Bracey. They come over to try to assist her, and that's where it gets more complicated. An argument ensues. You know, both sides are saying, I don't know what you're talking about, but you need to leave these kids alone. You need to get out of here. And at some point, Mr. Harrison shows up. By the time Mr. Harrison shows up, the two females, Miss Harrison and Miss Bracey, are very heated. They're going back and forth. I believe you'll hear physically in and out of each other's space, but nobody has touched anybody. At some point, I believe Mr. Bracey, who was a minor at the time, I think he was 16 years old, he goes to try to intervene to keep his mother from getting close or physical with Mrs. Harrison. By this time, Mr. Harrison has arrived.
Thanks,
I don't know
Steve.
how he was alerted to it. I don't know. I'm sure somebody called him and he comes to that address. They all live in this neighborhood, but in speaking with the witnesses for the state, they're not friends, but they don't know each other. There's no backstory, beef, or problems other than this acute incident that's happening that we're going to talk about today. So, circling back, Braden goes to
11 months,
intervene
T.
and try to keep his
11
mother
months.
from getting in a fight. At that point, Mr. Harrison comes over and he knocks him out. And when he knocks him out, the testimony I believe you will hear is while he's on the ground, Mr. Harrison continues to kick him. His mother, Miss Bracey, I'm probably going to break wind here and use a lot of people's first name, which is not really professional, but two of our witnesses have the same last name, so it's easier. So Chantel, Miss Bracey, goes to protect her son, Braden, because he's unconscious, and she covers him up kind of like a turtle shell. And during that altercation, Mr. Harrison clips her in the forehead, and she sustains a pretty severe laceration. She's treated for those injuries and suffers a concussion, and she will tell you still suffers some chronic problems to this day. That is specific to count 2. There's a lot of different ways you can get to aggravated assault. If I pull a gun out right now and point it at one of you and say mean things, that would be one way to get to ag assault. That is not what we're talking about today. There's other ways to get to ag assault, which is going to be serious bodily injury. That is what we are alleging and asking you to find, specific to the count 2 with her. There will be lesser included, which will be simple assault, but it will be up to you
Thank you,
to determine
Kelly.
whether or not, and the judge will give you further jury instructions. That is my least favorite part of my job, is having to listen to those things. But he will give you those instructions, and it will be up to you to determine whether her injuries, all 12 of you at the time you deliberate, rise to the level of serious bodily injury. But at the end of the case, we believe with those 3 witnesses, as well as Deputy Ward, who shows up and he takes Mr. Harrison into custody, he will show you some photographs, or we will through him, of her injuries at the time where she's bleeding, and just go through what he independently saw after the fact. Deputy Ward was not there during the incident. Police are rarely there when things happen, unless it's some kind of proactive drug case or something where they're going to buy drugs with the undercover agent or with a confidential informant. But at the end of all that proof, we're going to ask you to find him guilty of all 3 counts.
Ms. Fordyce?
Well, good morning again. I forgot to say one thing in here, and I'm gonna say at the beginning of my opening. If I'm rude to you in the hall, we're not supposed to talk to you, so I'm just gonna walk on past. It's hard for me. But, and so will Mr. Willoughby, because we're not supposed to talk to you at all. It's not being rude. But it's a small courthouse, so if I just walk past, it's not disrespecting you or Mr. Willoughby. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what we're here today is an event marked by a series of choices that led to unfortunate escalation. Our focus is to understand the circumstances, the motivations of those involved, and determine whether the actions taken were reasonable given the circumstances. At the heart of this incident lies the question of reasonable doubt. The so-called victims played an active role, as Mr. Willoughby just stated. The lady had locked the door and already called the police when these neighbors decided to intervene and take charge of the situation. And crucially, a third party unrelated to this initial dispute chose to involve herself, go over there. Now you got to remember, the police have already been called, but this neighbor decided she needed to be in charge of the whole situation and went over there with her child. She was not a part of any of the dispute with the cell phone or anything else.
He's talking
As
fast.
Mr. Willoughby said, the phone
Tennessee.
was pinging. This all started with a cell phone in the neighborhood of a child. And at that point, when this third party, who's not related to any of this, her intervention was not designed to diffuse matters, but instead she intensifies emotions and reactions among those present. This presence and action of this third party transformed a manageable disagreement into a more volatile confrontation.
That's not
Yep.
true.
The defense would submit it would have been much more prudent to allow the police arrive and make a determination where the phone was. As Mr. Willoughby said, Mr. Harrison's wife and these other parties were engaged in a verbal disagreement. He found out about it and went over there to see if his wife was in trouble. Was the escalation necessary or was it avoidable? By these people intruding on this situation that had absolutely nothing to do with them, what was their motivation? Did they know the police were on the way? Couldn't they have just waited for official authorities to make that? Or did they decide as neighbors they were going to intervene and escalate it because, I don't know, she decided she needed to be involved in the whole situation?
No.
The lady who had locked the door, she's not in danger. She's already locked the door and called the police. Just first and foremost, listen to all the proof. And I would submit it was these third parties' actions, not the actions of Mr. Harrison, that escalated the whole thing and brought us here today over a cell phone in a neighborhood that a child had lost. Should this be in criminal court? That is up for you to decide. But I would submit the proof would show he's just gotten thrown into this with his wife and care and concern. He was actually a party to this rather than these neighbors who decided to make it their mission to involve themselves.
They were actually
Thank
a
you very
party to
much.
this as well. I'm glad
All
that
right, ladies
neighbor
and
came
gentlemen, the
over.
next step
You will
would
be too.
Do you have anything else before we?
No, I was just gonna call a witness.
You stood up, it got me a my.
Sorry.
We're gonna take our mid-morning recess now before we begin, because the next step will be for the state to start calling their witnesses, and send, that'll take them a while. So let's take a 15-minute recess and be back in here at 10:30. When you come back, you'll just gather, you can exit through that doorway there. I'm gonna turn this camera off that shows that area so you won't be on camera. But if you'll just, when you come back from your break, gather in the jury room, and then we'll bring you back out. When you come back, you're now free to sit anywhere in the jury box you want to. There's no assigned seating. So we'll take a 15-minute recess and return at that time.
Thank you.
Okay, so the verdict is a bit, it's different than I thought it would be. I really hate fast forwarding. Why don't I just record it ahead of time and clip it, you say? There we go. So just that both attorneys were wrong there. He's muted for a second. I didn't mute him. Don't worry. He's going to unmute in a minute. Both attorneys are wrong there. They gave a piece of the story without telling you guys anything at all about what really happened. So don't take what they say as anything other than, you know, partial half-truths, barely. Well, the lady she was just wrong. Period. The neighbor should have been there. Absolutely. And if any of your children were in that situation, you want that neighbor to come over to them. Every time. Don't worry. He's going to unmute at any second. Live streaming time is different than real life time. If I hear a pause in real life, it's never as long as it is during my live stream, and it's like 7 hours long. I think they're just bringing the jury in. I think. I want everybody south of the Mason-Dixon line to have an accent. That's all I want. That's all I want, Kelly. Oh, Judge, you're ruining my stream. Hi.
Then bring them on out.
There we go.
Does your honor want us to stand up when they come in?
Is there a reason this is back here? The podium?
That's where I was told to put it.
It's an imaginary line that goes the whole way across the United
Okay.
States. North, south.
I don't care.
Sandra, I'm so sorry about that. You must be stressed out right now. I understand.
All right, just for everybody's information, thank you for returning, ladies and gentlemen. While there are restrooms up here on this level, there are also two restrooms down on the lower level. But if you find there's a crunch about getting to the restroom while we're on break, then you can go down the elevator and you can visit those restrooms down there. You'll just go downstairs and turn left, and that's where they are. All right, having addressed that issue, then I think we're ready to put on proof. So, Mr. Willoughby, you may call your first witness.
State's gonna call Brianna Taylor.
Brianna Taylor.
She should be back there. We do questions here. Can everybody see the stand?
Taylor, if you'll come around, step up into the witness box and raise your right hand and be placed under oath, please.
The only time I would want my ex near me at my job is if I worked in a cemetery.
Ms. Kaler, when you sit down, that chair is very finicky when you lean back, okay? I know you're kind of soft-spoken, so if you also talk right in that microphone.
Okay.
Could you state and spell your name?
Brianna Kaler, Brianna Kaler, Kaylor.
And how old are you today?
22,
And how old were you back on April 15th of 2023?
19.
So you were an adult
Yes, sir.
legally. On that specific date, what was your address then? Do you remember?
1007 Caitlin Circle, Pleasant View, Tennessee. Oh, sorry. 1007 Caitlin Circle, Pleasant View, Tennessee. Yes, ma'am.
Is that in Cheatham County?
Yes, sir.
And what were you doing that day?
I was at home with my siblings and they had a friend over.
How many siblings do you have?
3.
And then one, so five counting you were home.
Yes.
How old were they?
All of them were under the age of 14.
And hopefully you're getting paid to watch at least one of them, right?
No.
No? Okay. And on that date, was there an unusual incident that happened?
Yes, sir.
And just tell us from the beginning what that was and how everything got started.
So I was sitting on the couch, someone knocked on the door. It was still daylight outside in the evening. Someone knocked on the door. I opened it. She stated that her child's phone was in our house.
Now, I'm gonna stop you. I'm sorry. Did you know this person at all?
No.
And it wasn't Mr. Harrison?
No, sir.
And never met this, have you ever met him before in your life?
No.
And what did you do in response when she started saying this phone is in your house?
I assured her that it was not. She stated that the children that I was babysitting stole it.
Say that one more time.
She stated that they stole the phone, the children I was watching, which I didn't know how that would have happened. But they did not have a phone.
Any of the kids in the house ever leave the house when you were watching them?
No.
Did they ever have an opportunity to be around this unknown female?
No.
Were they around any other kids that day?
No, they were in the house.
What was her demeanor at the door? Was she happy, sad, angry?
Very, not hands-on aggressive, of course, but very, had an attitude, aggressive in her speech.
Was she angry?
Yes.
And what did you do when these accusations started coming your way?
I told her to give me a moment. I went and got my phone because it was on the kitchen table, grabbed my phone, and I called my neighbor, Chantel and Braden. I called her and just told her that I needed her to come over, something was happening, and then I got on the phone with my mother.
You said you called your neighbor Chantel Bracy. I'm assuming outside of this incident, are you familiar with her? Do you know her?
Yes.
So would you say
She's-
she's a friend?
Yeah, she's like a second mom to me.
Did you also call the police?
No, not at this time.
Did you eventually call the police?
Yes.
Did Miss Bracy answer the phone?
Yes, when I called.
And what did you tell her? You
Essentially,
can't say what she said to you, just to be clear.
I just said that I needed her to come over, just something was happening.
And did she do so?
Yes.
I'm assuming, but were you afraid when you called her?
Yes.
Kelly. Thank
And
you
why
so
were you
much.
afraid?
Thank you.
Just the way that the lady was speaking, I could tell that this was getting heated and just, I'm only 19. I mean, I didn't know much of what to do.
When she made the accusation, you may have already said this, but did you shut the door?
Oh, just real quick. Sorry, guys. Mel, how did it go? Mel, did she say yes? Are you okay? How was it? I bet it was fun. Mel, I'm glad to see you. Tell us how it went. There we go. Back to work.
It's,
Did you lock it?
no.
Was she still around the door whenever you called Miss
She was
Bracy?
still on the front porch.
And when you called Chantel,
Mhm.
did she come over?
Yes, Chantal did.
Was the lady that was banging on your door still on your front porch when she came over?
On the sidewalk.
Sidewalk. So tell us what happens. Again, you can't get into what everybody said, but just physically what happens when Chantel comes over to help.
So Chantel came over, there was just a lot of talking, about the phone, things like this. After all the speaking happened, the lady had her husband come over. He pulled up in a truck at the end of the driveway. He got out, there was more talking happening. And then things moved to more of around the driveway side of the house. And then the altercation happened.
Was Miss Chantel Bracy, was she alone when she came over?
No, Braden walked over with her.
Who is Braden?
He is her son.
Is his last name also Bracy?
Bracy, yes, Braden Bracy,
And do you know how old he was at the time?
16.
So I think you alluded to it, but just try to describe when the incident happens, where is that in relation to your front porch?
So my front porch is here. We walk down the sidewalk, like around the house to the side of the house is where the driveway is on this side. The front porch looks here, driveway looks right here.
So just for the record, you're pointing with your right hand
Yes,
as a reference point to the front porch.
yes,
And then with your left hand, you are pointing left, so the driveway would be to the left.
yes, sir.
Okay, so, and then at the end of that, I'm assuming, do you mean where the driveway meets a road,
Yes, sir.
where our mailbox would be?
Yes.
So describe the incident from your perspective that occurs at the end of the driveway.
The lady was standing in the grass, in between, just kind of on the right side of the driveway. She was standing in the grass. Braden and Chantel Bracy were on the driveway. The lady came from the grass, started walking towards the driveway, towards everyone. He got in the middle.
Who is he? Do you see the person that
Yes,
you're referring to?
yes.
Can you point him out?
Yes,
And so for the record, you've identified Mr. Harrison.
yes, sir.
And now do you know the lady that came over, her to be his wife?
Yes,
That's Mrs. Harrison.
yes, Mrs.
Okay. Back up a little bit. Talk about the incident. What did you see the defendant do?
Mr. Harrison came over, punched Chantel, and then she backed off, started screaming, fell to the ground, and then him and Braden got into it. Braden was knocked to the ground. I believe it to be by fist. Braden was knocked to the ground. Braden did not move once he was on the ground. He laid there, did not fight back, did not move leg, arm, nothing.
Did he appear to be unconscious?
Yes, in my opinion, yes.
And what is the defendant doing while he's on the ground?
Continuing to hit
Is he hitting him with his hand or is he kicking him?
both.
Both? How many times can you guess?
I'd say at least 5 more times while Braden was not moving on the ground.
What did Chantel do, if anything, to try to help the situation?
She was screaming. We both were. I got on the phone with 911 right as this happened. And Chantel she was just full of emotion. I mean, she was just screaming.
Did you hear the defendant say anything during this altercation?
The defendant, no.
Okay. Did Chantel appear or Braden, either one, to be injured afterwards?
Yes.
Starting with Braden, what did you observe on him?
He had some bruises and he was very discombobulated from the altercation. He stood up and walked, but you could tell he was banged up and was just a little woozy.
When you saw Braden and the defendant get into an altercation, were you able to determine or observe who started that incident?
In my opinion, it was the defendant because he laid the first hand. Braden never laid a hand on anyone. Never got close enough to lay a hand on anyone.
Until
Yes.
did Mr. Harrison, the defendant, eventually leave?
Yes, he did. As soon as the cops were on their way, he jumped in his truck and left the scene.
What about Miss Harrison? When did she leave? Or do you know?
I don't recall that part when she left. I don't remember if she was there when the police arrived or not.
So is that how the altercation ended?
Yes, with the police, everyone spoke. His truck keys were still at our property, and so the police went up to his house and got that and everything.
Do you know if the police eventually found this phone?
Yes, the phone was at the stop sign.
Where is the stop sign in relation to the end of your driveway?
The end of my driveway goes to the left. It was all the way down the road. So our house would live on the corner. It was over. So we have our property and then there's a ditch. And then on the other side of the ditch is the stop sign at the corner, and the phone was at the corner stop sign.
Do you know who found it?
The deputy and my father.
So never in your home?
No.
I don't have any other questions, Your Honor.
Orla?
Good morning. When Miss Harrison came to your door, you said that you shut the door, is that
Yes,
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did she try to open the door?
No, ma'am.
Did she make any move to assault you in any way?
No, ma'am. She didn't.
Why didn't you call the police at that time?
I felt as if two adults and another adult could come to an agreement that the phone was not in the house.
Okay, and, when Miss Bracy, well, first of all, Miss Bracy is a long-term friend, correct? And so is Braden, correct?
Yes.
When they came over, did they confront Miss Harrison?
Yes.
Did they scream at her?
No.
Did they raise voices at her?
Voices were already raised before then.
Okay, but and Miss Bracy came over, she had raised voices at Miss Harrison, is that correct? She had no relation to this phone, is that correct? Miss Bracy
no.
didn't. Miss Bracy only came over because of your call.
Yes.
You could have called the police at that time, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Why did Miss Bracy feel like that she needed to confront Miss Harrison?
The way that Miss Harrison was speaking to me, I don't believe that Miss Bracy liked the way she was speaking to me.
But the door was closed and Miss Harrison was
No.
outside.
No, the door was not closed when Miss Bracy came over. I said that I got the phone and called Miss Bracy, and then I called my mom and was back outside speaking with Miss Harrison when Chantel and Braden walked over.
But you said you shut the door. When did you shut the door?
I shut the door when I went to get the phone off the kitchen table.
Okay, and at that time, she made no effort to come in there or
No,
confront you. You testified the phone was later found at the stop sign, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You have no idea where that phone had been at all. Is that correct?
No, ma'am.
As a matter of fact, it wasn't your phone that pinged, it was Miss Harrison's, correct?
Her daughters, yes.
And so you don't know who put that phone over there by the stop sign.
No, ma'am.
As a matter of fact, all these children play in the neighborhood quite a bit, is that correct?
Yes, but not together.
But they're all outside playing at different times in that circle. There are a bunch of children in your neighborhood, correct?
Yes.
And they all play outside. There's some cul-de-sacs in there, is that correct?
We don't.
Just in case we were really talking in chat about 17 different things, just real quick. This little girl on the stand who was 19 at the time was watching like 5 kids or 4, all younger than her. And this woman, Mrs. Harrison, which is really Mrs. Williams, don't worry about that, doesn't know her, doesn't know those kids, started pounding on the door saying that two of the kids that she was watching stole her phone or her daughter's phone or something like that. And this little 19-year-old was like, look, your phone is not here. This woman would not leave, and she was getting irate. So this little girl called her neighbor, who was like her second mom, come help me, and then called her mom. This woman had no business being at this house. And then the neighbor came over with her 16-year-old son. And the woman who's pounding at the door, her husband knocks him out. So now you're all caught up.
Don't live by a cul-de-sac.
It's a small little subdivision where they all play outside, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And there are lots of children that go outside and play, correct?
Only at our house.
All right, and all Miss Harrison said is the phone was pinging in that house, correct?
Yes.
So it could have been just a discussion to try to figure out where the iPhone was.
She
correct?
stated that my children that I was watching stole the phone.
You could have investigated it, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you ask any of those children if they touched the phone?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you knew you could call the police if you were feeling threatened, correct?
Yes.
And they could have resolved it as well, correct?
I felt that Chantel could get there faster than the police.
But she is not a police officer, correct?
No.
She had no involvement in this case whatsoever. She's just a neighbor, correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you.
Redirect, Mr. Willoughby.
Yes, Your Honor.
Was Miss Harrison, did you ask her to leave your property?
Yes, multiple times.
Did she do so?
No.
Did anybody else ask her to leave?
Chantel did, my mother did,
How did your mother speak to her?
on the phone. She was on speakerphone.
And did she oblige those requests?
No, Mr. Harrison was also asked to leave the property and never did.
And I think you testified previously, were you scared?
Yes,
Where was the closest help you could think of?
my neighbor.
Is that why you started there?
Yes.
And the children you were watching, did any of them leave the house during this altercation?
No, sir. They were all upstairs in a bedroom.
Why were they there?
They lived there.
Did you tell them to go there?
Oh, yes, I told them to stay away from, they needed to stay upstairs. I didn't know. I told them not even to look out a window.
So it was heated enough you thought they needed to go somewhere safe?
Yes.
You've been asked why you didn't call the police first.
Mhm.
As far as you know, could Miss Harrison also have called 911 if she thought her phone was stolen?
Yes.
I don't have any. Go ahead.
After being asked to leave the property and she still wanted the phone, the police could have gotten the phone.
I don't have any other questions.
Ms. Fordyce.
You just testified you were scared, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but you shut the door to go get the phone, correct?
Yes.
And then when you came back, you opened the door and re-engaged with Miss Harrison.
Yes, ma'am.
You actually went out of the house to talk to her, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
If you were so scared, why would you open the door back up and enter back into that discussion?
To notify Chantel of what all was happening. All I told her on the phone was that
Because Chantel was out there all alone with this crazy woman. She went out there to help Chantel, who was there to help her. The lawyer does not understand this. I wouldn't leave Chantel out there by herself either.
I needed her to come over.
If you were so scared, wouldn't you stay in the safety of your home with the door shut?
Yes, but Miss Harrison was still there. She was not leaving.
But if you're so scared, why would you open the door and go right back out and engage with her?
She was not leaving.
Okay, wouldn't that be the time to call the police if you were scared? Instead of going out yourself and putting yourself back in that situation?
I could have.
Okay, thank you.
Go. Thank you, ma'am. You may step down and have a seat in the courtroom if you, are you gonna keep her under the rule?
I don't anticipate following her back.
Well, then you may have a seat in the courtroom if you'd like. So your next witness.
State is going to call for him, Gracie, Your Honor.
Right?
This is the 16-year-old, but he's not 16 anymore. I mean, even if the
You would
police
raise
station
right hand and be placed under oath,
is
please.
3 houses away and her neighbor is 2 houses away, I would want her to call that neighbor every single time and then call the police. That is immediate help right there, an adult. I know she's an adult, but still.
All right. Can you state your name for the court, please?
Braden Bracy,
And can you spell that?
Brayden, Bracey.
And where were you living on April 15th of 2023?
1011 Caitlin Circle,
And what city is that in?
Pleasant View.
And is that in Cheatham County?
Yes, sir.
So on that date in 2023, how old were you at the time?
16,
And how old are you now?
18.
And on that date, do you remember what you were doing that day at all?
I was just sitting in my bedroom.
Just hanging out at home?
Yeah.
And who was in the home with you at the time?
Me, I had a buddy that was taking a nap, and then my mom and my sister.
Are they about the same age as you, or older or younger?
Yeah, he was my age. He was 16 at the time.
And your sister?
Oh, my sister, she was 12.
And at some point in that day, did an incident occur?
Yes, sir.
What was happening?
I just got a call from my mom. I was up in my room and she was telling me to come to the neighbor's house. Neither of us knew what was going on at first, but my mom had gotten a call from the neighbor to come over there and help.
And whose neighbor house was that?
Breeze. And then, oh, is that it?
No, there's more. So you got a call from your mother to go over to the neighbor's house. What was your mother doing?
Before she got the call, I don't know, just something around the house. But whenever I went outside, she was confronting.
And by who?
She was confronting his wife that was on my neighbor's property.
Whose wife is that?
Edgar's.
Can you identify him, please? Are you pointing to the defendant?
Oh, his wife?
No, are you pointing to Edgar, the defendant?
Yeah.
For the record, witness is pointing to the defendant and identifying him.
Reflect that that the witness has identified the defendant.
And so your mother was speaking with the defendant's wife.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know what they were talking about?
My mom was just trying to see what she was doing, and she was telling my mom why she was there.
And their interaction, would you say it was calm, or was it escalating?
It was verbally aggressive.
And as that situation progressed, what did you do?
I stepped in the middle of it.
So you were trying to intervene?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And was that to prevent any further conflict?
Well, I really had no clue what was going on. I just saw my mom and her yelling at each other, so I just stepped in the middle, yeah, just to.
So you're just trying to protect mom?
Just break it up in general.
Did you ever leave the situation at all?
To get my phone from inside.
So you went back to your house to get your phone?
I did.
What was the reason for that?
Call the cops. I didn't know if anybody had yet.
So you didn't know if anyone had called 911, and
Mm-mm.
you were just taking the initiative to do that yourself?
Yes, sir.
And when you came back, were there any new parties on the scene, on your residence or the neighbor's residence?
No, sir.
So had Mr. Harrison arrived at that point?
I went and got the phone after he arrived.
After he had arrived, so So he arrives. Did the situation progress from there at all?
Not really. As soon as he got there, he was trying to figure out what was going on as well, and then there were just some words.
So it progressed enough after his arrival that you had to go get your phone and call 911.
Yes, sir.
When you came back with your phone, what happened then?
I was actually on the phone with the dispatcher, and I saw my mom and his wife start going towards each other like something was going to happen. So I dropped my phone in the yard and then started running towards them.
What happened after you ran towards your mother?
He hit me on the right side, from
Do
the
you-
right side.
Do you remember him saying anything to you before that, or
No, I didn't even see him whenever he hit me.
so you just ran to your mother and you got blindsided essentially?
Yes, sir.
What happened with that?
I don't know. I was out for like probably 2 seconds, just a quick thing, and
So you got
I felt a kick to my stomach, and then
He was out longer than 2 seconds.
whenever I got up, I saw my mom on the ground, and she was already bleeding, and then he was getting in his truck to leave.
and had his wife left at that point, or was she also?
No, she was still there.
Did she leave shortly after?
Yes, sir.
And do you know? So how many times do you remember getting hit in the head?
Just once.
Just once, and that put you out for a couple seconds.
Yes, sir.
And so you were kind of coming to when you woke up to getting kicked.
Yes, sir.
Can you point on your body where you were kicked? For the record, the witness is pointing to his right rib cage, right abdomen area.
Will reflect the motion of the witness.
And do you remember how many times you were kicked
Once that I remember.
that you remember? When you got back up, was there any
The last girl who saw this all happen, the little 19-year-old, watched him get kicked a couple times.
further physical confrontation?
No, he was leaving.
He was leaving at that point.
Yes, sir.
And your mother, you saw her bleeding, correct?
Yes, sir.
Where did you see her bleeding?
Top of the head right here.
From the top of her head? When you arrived to go, when you initially arrived to go, and during the whole course of this altercation, when you came back from getting your phone, did you ever hit anyone?
No, sir.
Did you ever threaten to hit anyone?
No, sir.
Did you actually hear anyone threaten physical violence?
I just saw my mom and his wife walking towards each other, and that was
Like you couldn't hear any
no, I
specific
never,
words?
no,
No.
sir.
So as far as you knew, you were coming back to just further de-escalate and keep the parties away, your mother and his wife away from each other.
Yes, sir.
So no first punches thrown by you, no words
No,
of
sir.
anything from you indicating you were going to use physical violence.
No, sir.
So that was the child abuse part. Child abuse, yes, but not like child abuse. It's child abuse, but not child abuse. He was hit and kicked by an adult. Child abuse. Personally, I feel what this lawyer is about to do to him with her questions is way more abusive than the punch and the kicks. The punch and the kicks aren't going to they are going to traumatize him, but not like these words. I think what she says is child abuse, but he's not a child anymore, so I guess it's not child abuse at all.
And so after you see them leave, did you attend to your mother's wounds at all?
I didn't do anything to the wound. I put my shirt over her head. But
So you
that's
helped
all.
stop the bleeding?
Yeah, I put my shirt over her head.
And the defendants are leaving at this time.
Yes, they were already gone.
Did 911 or EMS or sheriffs eventually arrive on scene.
Yes.
Did they treat your mother?
Yes.
They did. Did they take your mother away?
Yeah, she went to the hospital.
She went to the hospital. Did you go to the hospital?
No, sir.
Did you provide any statements to law enforcement after they arrived on scene?
Yes, sir.
So you kind of gave them a rundown of what happened.
Yes, sir.
And do you know the defendant or his wife at all?
No, sir.
Had you ever seen them before?
No, sir.
Have you ever had any issues with them since?
No, sir.
Just to reiterate, did you hear any statements from the defendant about hitting you or using violence or anything of that nature? Or did it all just kind of happen too quickly for you?
In the moment, I wasn't really, my ears weren't really open. I
No, I
I
got
was
you.
collecting what happened.
Thank you.
That was Fordyce and Wilson Goodman.
Good morning, Mr. Bracy. How long have you lived in that neighborhood?
I've lived there my whole life, 18 years.
And you're good friends with the neighbors, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're very close with those children as well, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and when your mother yelled at you for coming, about the incident next door, did y'all call the police at that time?
No, ma'am.
Was your mother upset at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, does she have a pattern of getting upset and verbal?
No, ma'am.
When she went out the front door, was she yelling at Miss Harrison?
I was not outside until whenever I came outside, my mom was already at the neighbor's house. I don't know if my mom was yelling as soon as she came out the front door or anything.
Well, you said you ran up and stepped in the middle. So they were coming towards each other, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And your mom was yelling, correct?
Both of them were yelling.
Did you lay hands on Miss Harrison to restrain her?
No, ma'am.
You did not.
No, ma'am.
You understand you're under oath, sir?
I understand.
Okay, at any time did you lay hands on her?
No, ma'am.
Did you try to hold her back or push her back?
Using my body.
You did use your body
I
to
did not.
push her back.
There was no pushing. I just put my body in the way.
And which way were you facing? Was it towards Miss Harrison?
Yes.
And you were telling her to back off?
Yes.
Okay, and you were using your body against Miss Harrison, is that correct?
Just standing there. Standing in the middle.
All right, and then you ran to get your phone. If you were worried about them having a confrontation, had they stopped when you went to go get the phone?
It seemed calm enough for me to go get the phone.
All right, and when you were coming back, were you calling the police at that point?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you call before you ended up back on the scene?
I called as I was walking back to the scene.
All right, did you tell everybody the police are on their way?
No, ma'am.
No?
No, ma'am.
Did you tell your mom or anybody, the police are coming, let them
No, ma'am. It
handle
was
it?
very wild.
Okay, did you re-engage in the argument after you got off that telephone call?
No, ma'am.
Didn't you try to get back in between them again, your mother and Miss Harrison?
Whenever I was running up to him.
And you got back in between them facing Miss
No,
Harrison?
ma'am. Whenever I ran to him, I never made it to him. Made it to about 20 feet away from him before.
The second
I
time?
was it. Yes, ma'am.
All right. And you said you put a shirt, to help your mom. Didn't Mr. Harrison give you the shirt off his back?
I didn't talk to him after I was struck.
Didn't he hand you the shirt that you put on your mom?
No.
Okay.
He didn't hand me a shirt.
Was that the shirt that was used on your mother? His shirt?
His shirt?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know that his shirt was involved in, I didn't know he took it off.
All All right, and, did you yell at Miss Harrison?
Yes,
What did you yell at her?
I don't recall.
Well-
Probably the, what's going on? Why are you here?
Were you yelling at her?
Probably raise my voice a little bit.
And did you use profanity?
Yes, ma'am.
How tall are you, or how tall were you when you were 16?
6 foot.
6 foot?
Yes, ma'am.
And Miss Harrison's a lot smaller, is that correct?
Yes,
And you were screaming at her,
yes,
and you used obscenities,
yes.
and you used your 6 foot body to get up on her, is that correct?
I was not getting up on her. I was standing in the way,
You were standing in her way to block her,
in between her and my mom.
and your mom continued to yell during this whole time.
Both of them were both yelling.
Okay, thank you. Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. And you didn't go to the hospital?
No, ma'am.
You haven't complained of any permanent injury?
No, ma'am.
You've had no fallout from this, is that correct? All right, thank you.
I'm sure he has no fallout from sitting there watching his mom bleed from the head. None. None whatsoever. You have to work
Just to make sure
overtime
we're
now.
crystal clear on a lot happened in a short time span. Your mother and his wife are arguing and you get in between them to prevent anything from
I
that.
never used any physical force on her whatsoever.
And you never threatened to do so.
No, sir.
Was Mrs. Harrison told to leave at that point? Was she told by you or your mom or
Yes.
Bree to leave at that point? And did she?
No.
And she not only didn't leave, she called her husband to help come as well, right?
Yes.
So she brought in a second party who was not invited to the property. Is that right?
Yes.
And you are the one who called the police, right?
Yes.
But when you came back after calling, you didn't have time to really threaten or not, excuse me. You didn't have time to warn anyone or say the police have been called.
No, I dropped my phone in the yard, still on
Yeah.
the line with the dispatcher.
And you couldn't tell anyone what happened because what happened to you at that point?
Yes, sir.
What happened to you
Oh,
at that point?
I dropped my phone and I was running towards my mom and her, and then I was struck.
So before you could say anything,
Yes, sir.
you were hit.
Yes, sir.
And was Mrs. Harrison also yelling and cussing
Yes.
at you
Me and my mom.
and your mother?
Yes, sir.
Was she also yelling and cussing at Bree?
Possibly, but I don't know for sure.
But you know it was coming towards you and your mother.
Yes, sir.
No further questions.
Anything further?
No, you're.
All right, thank you, sir. You may step down and have a seat in the courtroom if you'd like. You can call your next witness.
Mom should be the one on the stand right now. Just mom. Just.
State is going to call Chantel Gracie, Your Honor.
Chantal Gracie.
Here comes mom. Here comes the other mother, the wife. These are the only two people that should be on the stand telling what happened. The mom and this one, they started it all. Actually, this woman started everything. This woman shouldn't have been there. This one was banging on a house with children inside for no reason. The phone was found down at the end of the street.
Raise your right hand. You'll stand and raise your right hand to get placed under it.
Good afternoon. Could you state and spell your last name for the court, please?
No.
It's
I got-
Chantel Bracy.
I got my women confused. This is the neighbor. Sorry. This isn't the one that did it.
Bracey.
You spell your first name too,
Oh,
please.
Chontel.
Thank you. Where were you living on April 15th of 2023?
1011 Caitlin Circle in Pleasant View.
And is that in Cheatham County?
It is, yes.
Do you remember what you were doing that day?
I was home, not really doing a whole lot. I was just kind of chilling out. My mom had just passed away. She had lived with me for like a year and a half. So it was the first weekend I had without her.
So,
So I was just,
so it was very recent, your mother's passing.
it was a week and a half before.
And do you remember who was in the home with you that day?
Yes, my daughter, she was 11 at the time and she had a friend over. And then Braden was there and he had a friend over as well.
And at some point, did an incident start to occur that day?
I received a phone call, from Bree.
And who is Bree?
Brianna, she's a neighbor
Is that directly next door to you?
directly next door.
So
Yes. We've
you're-
lived next door to each other for 20 plus years.
So your property lines touch.
Mhm.
And after you got the call, what was happening?
I walked over there. Well, Bree said that there was someone banging on the door stating that, the kids inside the house had stolen her daughter's phone and, she wouldn't go away. And she had her mom on the phone. Bree had her mother on the phone and her mother had asked, Ms. Williams to leave the property and come back later.
And
And so I walked over and then she asked me to walk over there.
Miss Williams, I think we've been calling her Mrs. Harrison. Is that Mr. Harrison's wife?
Yes.
Just, do they have a different last name
I,
that you knew of?
I think so. Maybe I just don't remember. I think it was, the last name was Williams at one time.
But that would be Mr. Harrison's wife.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so after you got that call from your neighbor, what did you do?
So I went over there, to see what was going on. I knew that, she had children in the house and, she was there alone. There was no adult supervision and she was scared. So I went over there. And I encountered Mrs. Harrison as I was walking over to the property.
And did you ask her anything or say anything to her
I
when
said,
you?
who are you? Why are you here? And she said, who the fuck are you? And I said, I'm just the neighbor and I've gotten a phone call saying that you are being very aggressive and harassing these kids over, I don't know if I knew at that time it was over the phone, but
Did you ask her to leave?
yes, I asked her to leave.
And you said you could hear the parents asking her to leave?
Yes. Bree had her mom on the phone.
And did she leave at that point at all?
No, she wouldn't.
And do you know when she did eventually leave?
She never left. Well, she left when the cops got there.
She's still there.
Okay, so when law enforcement arrived, she had left at that point eventually,
Eventually, yes, when they pulled in.
but not while any of you were asking her
No.
to. And did she ever say that she had called 911 or law enforcement?
I think so. I think I had told Bree to call the cops. And I believe, and I'm not 100% on this, but I believe that Miss Harrison said she had already called them.
While she was on someone else's property?
Yes,
That she wasn't allowed to be on?
correct. And had been asked to leave.
Do you know what your son was doing while you were talking with Mrs. Harrison?
He was behind me. And then things got a little heated and we were getting closer to one another. And he stepped in between us to break us up a little bit. And he was even telling her to leave, to get on the property.
Was there any pushing or jostling, or was he just standing there?
I remember her pushing him, but he was, and he's tall. He's like this.
He's taller than both of you.
Yes, but I remember her pushing him probably because he was too close to her. And I said, get your hands off my son, don't touch my son. And then it escalated from there.
As a mother, that
Mhm.
make you upset?
Yes, he was 16 at the time.
And as the situation progressed from there, did you do anything?
Did he do anything?
You,
Not, I mean.
were you just kind of going back and forth?
We were going
with
back
her?
and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And she said, well, my husband is on his way. And I said,
So,
okay, fine, I'll be right here.
so eventually someone else arrived on the
Yes.
scene.
Yes,
And who was that?
Mr. Harrison.
Can you identify him?
Yeah.
Or would you recognize him?
If I ran into him at a grocery store, probably not. And that is only because of my concussion that I've
And
had. I don't recognize faces.
How did you get a concussion?
From being kicked on the ground during this incident.
Did you receive any injuries to your head during this incident?
Yes, yes, I had
And-
3 contusions and a laceration.
And how did you receive those?
Pardon?
How did you receive those,
Received,
those injuries? How
I was
did they
kicked.
happen?
I was kicked well, my son was on the ground. I thought he was unconscious. He was not moving, and I bent down to cover him. And in that process, I was either kicked or hit but it was multiple times.
So I'm just trying to make sense of all. It's not like you were hit and fell to the ground. You went down to
I
protect
went
your
down
son,
to cover Braden.
and that's when you received
Yes,
blows or
Yes.
kicks.
yes.
Were you covered with your head down, or was your head up?
I don't remember. It was just, it happened so fast and my adrenaline was going. He was not moving. So I was afraid that I didn't know what was wrong with him.
So
So
were you looking down at him?
I was looking down at him and covering it. And I was telling Braden, I don't know if I was saying wake up or get up. And he wasn't moving. And I guess I received these blows during all of that. Because then when I was able to stand up, I looked down and Braden had blood all over him. And then I started screaming, Braden, you're bleeding, wake up, get up, get up. And then when I stood up, I realized it was me that was bleeding.
So it wasn't your son's, that was yours from your head injuries.
Correct.
And did you yourself get knocked out?
No, I don't
No.
remember getting knocked out.
Just your son?
Yes. He was unresponsive at that time. I don't know if he was knocked out, unconscious.
He
was
wasn't,
not
res-
moving.
he
was
wasn't responding to
unresponsive.
you.
Correct.
And did you know Mr. or Mrs. Harrison previous to this incident?
No, sir.
No interaction with them
No.
whatsoever? And so you had already stated, when did they both leave, the husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs.
When the
Harrison?
police got
But
there.
before,
Well, they were pulling in to the neighborhood with lights on, and then they jumped in their cars and left.
so they're in 2 separate cars,
Yes.
and they had both just left kind of as law enforcement was coming into the
Correct,
neighborhood.
yes.
And did you go to the hospital for your injuries
Yes. By ambulance.
by ambulance? Have you continued to receive care for those injuries?
Well, I had a concussion. I guess it took about 18 months to recover. I have severe vertigo now, which will probably never go away. I do take medication for that. And I've got some nerve damage, but there's nothing that can be done about that either.
But you had follow-ups to diagnose that and
Yes.
see if treatment could
Yes.
help with
yes,
it. And so you still have lingering effects from those injuries.
Yes, sir.
And how long ago was this
It
incident?
was April 2023, so almost 3 years, 2.5 years.
Right. And during this incident, you never physically struck anyone yourself, did you?
No, but I was going up the driveway to remove her from the property. And I've never been in a fight in my life, but it was just to the point where she had been asked to leave many times and she would not stop running her mouth. And I was trying to talk to Mr. Harrison and tell him what was going on. And she just kept on and kept on and kept on to the point where I had had enough. So, and it was my property and I wanted her gone.
So had this moved over onto your property?
Yes,
So two property owners had asked her to leave.
yes.
No further questions?
What
Good morning, Miss Bracy. I'm seeing if it's still morning. When you got the call from Bree, that got you pretty upset, correct?
I wasn't upset at the time. I just went over there to see what was going on.
You said you went up to remove her from the property. That was
That was after the initial interaction.
did you in fact walk up to Miss Harrison and you said, who are you and what are you doing here?
I did, yes.
Okay, and that was not on your property, correct?
That was not on my property.
And you yelled that in a loud voice, correct?
No, we were probably 5 feet away. I didn't have to yell.
And then y'all went into a verbal yelling match.
Yes,
And you were yelling
yes,
and
yes.
you were calling her names
Of course I was.
and you were using profanity.
Yes, I was.
And then your son, who's over 6 feet, comes running up and gets in between you using his body, correct?
He does, yes.
And he was using it facing Miss Harrison, is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes, asking her to leave.
All right, and then when he left to go get his phone and he was running back to the altercation,
No, that happened much later.
but he was running back to the
He was-
property.
When I was talking to Mr. Harrison, Braden was yelling at her, she was yelling at him, and then I could tell that Mr. Harrison was getting agitated because he had said something to Braden, like, don't talk to my wife like that, or don't talk to her like that. So I asked Braden to step back on our property, like, go back there, just, and then she would not stop. She wouldn't stop. She wouldn't stop. So that's when I started going towards her. And then Braden saw me going towards her and he was like, no, don't do this. He did not want me to go up there. He was coming to get me to pull me back.
And why wouldn't you just call the police? Why was it your job to start a fight?
That's what I didn't start the fight, but, Bree had already called the police and supposedly Miss Harrison had already called the police. I didn't feel a need that I needed to.
Couldn't you have just gone back in your house and shut the door?
Not when somebody is harassing my very dear friends and family next door. I'm not just gonna walk back in my house.
She testified that Miss Harrison didn't try to come in the house. All you had to do was just go in the house, shut the door.
She kept banging on the door.
The police are on their way, ma'am.
And they had been on their way for 20 minutes. They weren't coming.
So you took it upon yourself to start engaging in a
I
verbal
wanted her
abusing
property. Yes.
well, you wanted her off the next door neighbor's property that isn't your property,
Right,
correct?
because they had asked her to leave.
And it's important for you to yell at her and call her obscenities to remove her from the property.
Sure.
And you had nothing to do with this cell phone or anything else, but
No,
it,
ma'am, I didn't. And if she had just been nice, I would have helped her look around the property for the phone, but she was insisting that it was inside and that the kids stole it. And I knew that was not true.
how are you helping her when you're screaming obscenities at her?
I said, if she had just come into it being,
But you as a third party, why do you feel that it's necessary for you to engage these people and scream obscenities at them? How is that helping
They-
resolve this?
the resolution would have been just for her to leave and come back later.
Oh, so you get to decide what the resolution should be for everybody, is that correct?
I was the only adult there.
You were the only adult there, so it's proper for you to yell and scream obscenities and that'll fix it.
She was yelling and screaming them as well. So
Okay, she's upset about her child's iPhone. And so as an adult, you think that's the proper way to de-escalate and help the situation?
sure, because I am protecting my next door neighbors who have lived next door to for over 20 years. They're like family. So yeah, I'm gonna do anything I can to protect them.
She never at any point tried to go into the house or hurt anyone.
Beating on the house, on the door. She was scaring the kids inside,
Okay,
including Bree.
and so by you yelling and screaming,
Mhm.
you helped resolve this situation?
And no, it did not get resolved.
No, it did not. And you brought a 16-year-old that's 6 feet tall. You asked him to come on a third person's property to defend you, correct?
I didn't, not to defend me, just to, so I would have a witness.
Because he's 6 foot tall.
That's not why I asked him to come. I asked him to come because he's my son.
Wouldn't it have been smarter just to wait for the police that were on the
I
way?
guess I'm not smart.
Okay, and how many of these, who was your doctor that diagnosed you with this? I hadn't seen any medical reports. Do you have a medical report
At the hospital,
of this concussion where it actually said you had a concussion or any treatment following up?
there was no treatment for the concussion.
And what about all this other stuff?
I am on medication for my vertigo right now.
But they didn't say it had anything to do with this, did they?
It didn't start until this happened.
Has a doctor actually said this caused it?
Yes,
Do you have paperwork showing that
I
the
don't have
doctor?
paperwork showing. I have medical people in my life.
Oh, so it wasn't your doctor, it's some medical people in your life who probably said that the vertigo was caused by this accident 2 years ago.
My best friend is actually my doctor, so
Okay, so this is no official doctor's report or anything that says that any of this
no,
caused
but I
it.
can go back and get one if I need to.
Excuse me.
And at one point,
Excuse me, lawyer. If I put my symptoms in chat and they tell me I have hyperglycemia or whatever, I just picked a word. I don't know. That's my doctor. Like, that is it. That is my doctor's advice, and I'm going with it. And I will stand in court and I'll say I was diagnosed with this.
didn't you even take your shoes off?
Yes,
And didn't you even jump on Mr. Harrison's back?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, after, at one point, didn't you try to jump on his back?
I never put my
When he was
hands on
kicking her
anybody
son,
And you
maybe?
took off your shoes for a fight, isn't that right?
because I was going, not that I was gonna fight. I was going up there to remove her from the property.
So you're going in an aggressive manner. Man, that woman is
Yeah,
getting
she
off
was
that
being aggressive
property.
as well.
And I'm in
And
charge.
I was protecting my property and my family.
I have no further questions.
Bowler?
So you didn't just voluntarily interject yourself. You were invited to your neighbor's property. Is that right?
Correct, yes.
So you were asked to come help with this situation. Did you know that there were children there?
I did.
Were there any adults there besides, when you arrived, were there any adults there besides Mrs. Harrison?
No, just Bree. I mean, and she was, I think she's young.
A young adult,
Yes.
called a mature adult. Were there any mature adults there?
Bree's parents had gone on a date night. And so Bree was there with her siblings and their friends. And they had been outside playing basketball all day. I mean, so I knew they were there.
And as an adult, could Mrs. Harrison have called 911 if she thought something was stolen or used law enforcement to report something stolen?
Yes.
But she took it upon herself to go confront a house she might have thought that this phone was in.
That's what I believe. Yes.
And she demanded entry into that house to go find it
I believe so. Yes.
without law enforcement.
Correct. There was no law enforcement there.
And then after everyone asked her to leave, did she leave?
No, sir.
And when this moved to your property and you asked her to leave, did she leave?
No, sir.
No further.
Four eyes.
Just one follow-up question.
Yes, ma'am.
You said all the kids next door were outside playing basketball all day?
Earlier in the day, yes.
All those children that were in the house next door were outdoors playing basketball.
Earlier in the day,
And there were other children out in the neighborhood on that day, correct?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Redirect?
No, you're not.
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down and have a seat.
Thank you.
Good luck. Willoughby, you want to try it with?
Yeah, you might have to.
You raise your right hand, be placed under it. There.
Deputy, would you state and spell your name, please?
Michael Ward, Michaelward.
And where are you currently employed?
Cheatham County Sheriff's Office.
And were you employed in that, by that agency on April 15th of 2023?
I was
And what is your current position with the Cheatham County Sheriff's Office?
patrol deputy.
What was your current position back in 2023? I guess
Patrol
that wouldn't be
deputy.
current, but
Patrol deputy.
so on that date, were you at work?
I was.
And were you called to an incident?
I was.
Was that incident on 1007 Caitlin Circle?
It was.
Where is that located?
It's in Pleasant View, Tennessee.
Is that in Cheatham County?
It is.
Now, what was the nature of the call that you received?
The nature of the call that I received was a possible domestic incident that was occurring.
We've heard a lot of testimony, and you've been in here to hear it, that maybe multiple people had called the police or 911. Is that an accurate representation?
Yes, multiple people called 911.
And were you the first deputy on scene?
I was.
Just tell the jury what you observed as soon as you arrived.
As soon as I arrived, I observed a light blue sedan and a black truck leave from in front of the property that was parked there. Both of these vehicles left and turned down a side road further down Caitlin Circle. Whenever I exited my patrol vehicle, I observed Miss Chantel? Miss Chantel sitting on the ground upright, and her son Braden standing above her trying to stop the bleeding. Once I got closer, I actually observed her bleeding from the top of her head down over her face and in her chest area. I also observed Miss Brianna. Is it Brianna or Brianna? Brianna. I also observed Miss Brianna standing in the driveway, still on the phone with, I assume it was her parents.
And did you also see the Mr. Braden Brayson?
Yes, I did. I
Okay.
did see Braden.
Did you see this? It seems obvious that had been an altercation.
Yes.
And did you witness that at all? Who all was in, I mean, you've already testified about Miss Bracey's injuries, but was Braden or Brianna, did either of them have any injuries?
Braden did have bruising on his face.
Anything else with Braden?
Not that I observed.
And Brianna, was she hurt at all?
No, no, sir.
Eventually, other deputies arrived. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Were y'all all wearing body cameras?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna hand you 2 photographs. Those are 2 screenshots from a body cam there. Is that a fair and accurate representation of what Miss Bracey looked like that evening?
It is.
The state would move those as collective exhibit 1.
We'll mark this collective exhibit 1.
Publish it. Got everybody? Thank you. Okay, just to get us back on track. So you're first on scene. You identified who everybody was when you got there. What did you do when you got on scene?
I began taking statements, verbal statements from Brianna and then Braden. Eventually, or via radio traffic from dispatch, they received a 911 phone call from the defendant. And from the defendant's house, which was on the road that I observed the two vehicles turn down.
And is that how the defendant was developed, or you had a suspect?
Yes, sir.
Do you have that? Can you identify that suspect in the courtroom today?
Okay.
If you could point him out. For the record, he's identified Mr. Harrison as the suspect and defendant. Now, what did you do once you had a suspect?
Me and my two backup officers went down there and spoke to him.
And when you spoke to him, did he admit to what he had done?
Yes.
Specifically, what did he say he had done?
As soon as I walked onto the property, he advised he knew he was going to jail and that he had punched somebody in the face.
Okay, so he was cooperative.
Yes, sir.
And eventually, was he read what we all know as Miranda rights?
He was.
And did he continue to speak with you?
He did.
And even after that, did he reiterate what he had done?
Yes, sir.
Was he taken into custody at his house?
He was.
And that was without incident, he didn't resist or anything?
Correct.
And were you and whoever else able to identify this stolen phone?
I know that my corporal at the time was able to locate the phone at the corner of the road in front of 1007 Kitten Circle.
So it was not in the home?
It was not in the home.
That's all I had, John.
Ms. Bordeaux, from the cross-examine.
No questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy. You may sit down.
State's proof.
State has rested their proof. Ladies and gentlemen, a couple of procedural issues. If you will please step back in the jury room.
I don't know what this is about. I didn't see this part.
As a practical matter, Ms. Fordyce, I just wanted to determine before we go any further.
Yes, Your Honor.
Planning to,
I'd like to know that I would submit that on the Hebrew said that victims were primary aggressors and studied the incident. And I would submit they haven't shown where he went after that until they had attacked.
Yeah, I can't hear her either. Here's what I'm guessing. She's the defense. She's saying they didn't prove any of the charges at all, and she wants them all dismissed. That's what I'm guessing. That's what they normally do.
So at this time, we move for judgment of the court.
Mr. Willoughby.
Of course, we disagree with that. I believe the proof has been that Mr. Harrison, the defendant's wife, came over. She initiated the incident on a piece of property that wasn't hers, alleging things did not happen. Help was called for, and everyone has said that Mr. Harrison, including himself, according to the board, that he's the one that is admitted to hitting and getting in this fight, that he knew he was going to jail for it, and all the other lay witnesses that actually saw or participated in the incident has said he is the one who was the primary aggressor, and they were just literally trying to de-escalate the situation and have her and him leave at the time. So
Just quickly, Your Honor, actually, they were kicking off her shoes, straightening out Senator, so that doesn't sound like anybody trying to de-escalate it. That's somebody looking for a fight, and I'm gonna show you. And I'm gonna bring my 16-year-old son, who's 6 foot tall, and this isn't even their property. If she wanted to engage, she could have talked in a decent, normal, adult voice and tried to reason with people, but the testimony is she starts in front of from the get-go, takes off shoes for a fight. None of this had to happen. There was a phone thing where she would say, look, it's taking words, thing. If they can't agree, you call the police and let them de-escalate it. But going on to the neighbor's property because you're gonna be in charge and teach them, and her testimony was, I was getting her off that property. She had a mission. She was going over that she's in charge and she knows how it should be done. Well, that's what we have the police for, not a neighbor to run up and start a physical altercation.
Taking the evidence most like in the strongest light possible, as I'm required to do, taking the state's evidence in the most favorable light, then I find that there is sufficient evidence for this case to go to the jury, and the argument that the defense makes is a jury argument rather than one to this court. So this court found that the motion for judgment of acquittal should be denied. The next step is, are you going to offer proof?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have a witness that you think would be able to be on and off in 15 minutes, or do we need to break for lunch first?
I don't think I can get her on in 15
All right.
minutes. Unless he agrees not to cross it.
I respectfully deny that.
All right, well, let's bring the jury out and we'll send them to lunch then.
We don't need to hear him sending them to lunch. I'm going to fast forward because I love fast forwarding. It's just my favorite part of the job. Oh, another witness. I just want to bump it to the right. And it... Good enough. That's good enough, guys.
You will please step right up here in the witness stand and face our clerk and raise your right hand, please.
I do.
Please be careful sitting down. That chair likes to flip you backwards. Would you please, oh, see, that's what I told you. That one and that one. Would you please state your name for the record?
Yes, Chastity Matthews.
Matthews, I've been calling you Harrison.
I go by either one.
Okay,
It's Matthews.
all right, and where do you live, Miss?
1020 Pine Court, Pleasant View.
All right, and what do you do for a living?
I'm an office manager.
All right, and how many children do you have?
I have two.
All right, when this incident happened, one of your children lost his cell phone?
Yes, my youngest daughter.
Okay, and what kind of phone was this?
It was an Android.
And how did you locate where that phone was?
I have 2 tracking apps on it and I located it that way.
Okay, and where did it say the phone was located?
It said that it was located, at their house.
All right, and what did you do at that point then?
At that point, I went to the door, knocked on the door. Sorry, I drank Dr. Pepper. So hold on. So I went to the door. A girl opened the door. I didn't know who she was. So I said, has anybody seen a phone? And she said, no. I said, have your kids been outside? She said, yes. I said, did they pick up a phone? She said, I don't know, let me call my mom. I said, yes, please do. So immediately she got on the phone, called her mom. Mom straight up started yelling, cussing, talking about, why did you open the door? I said, no worries. I'm going to go back out and I'm going to call police. I start walking to my car. The woman and the boy come to me. They do not let me leave. He is bumping his chest up on me.
He's bumping his chest.
Yes, like he is like doing this and like he is bumping his chest on me and not letting me leave. I tell him to move several times. He says, "You're not going nowhere, B." I said, "Continue to say move." He says, "Why are you here? Both of them start asking me, "Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you in their yard?" I didn't answer. It's not their business. So I said, "Move or I'm going to call my husband." He said, "Call your effing husband." So I tell my 17-year-old that's on the street, I tell her, "Call Edgar." He calls Edgar. She calls Edgar, and Edgar comes up. Soon as he pulls up in the truck, he gets out. That's when he allows me to even move around. I have she's 13, but she was 10 at the time, 10 or 11 at the time. And I had her and her best friend right behind me. He wouldn't let neither one of them leave. He wouldn't let me leave until my husband got out that truck. Once my husband got out the truck and he was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "They're trying to hold me here. They got this Haven cell phone." And then he was like, we were all arguing back and forth. And then he was like, "Chastity, you just need to go home." He was like, you talking to the boy. He was like, "You need to go home." And then I guess his mom said, "Go home." So he starts walking to his house. He's on the porch. I'm starting to walk away to my car. I'm in the street. She says, "Why are you walking around, B?" I was fixing to whoop your A. So I just stand there. She kicks her shoes off, starts walking to me. In the process, I see him running toward me with his fist drawn. And then I see Edgar coming over. Edgar's in front of me at this point. The woman, she is coming. She's still walking toward me. But at this point, the boy gets there quicker. He swings at me, misses me, hits Edgar, and that's when him and Edgar start fighting. In the process of them fighting, she hops on Edgar's back, starts hitting Edgar, and then them two are still fighting. Edgar is not touching her or nothing. And then she starts saying, I'm bleeding. So at that point, the fight is over. Edgar offers her his shirt and she's like, "I don't want your shirt." And then he's like, the little boy that is laying down on the floor, which he ain't little, he's like 6 foot. At this time, we did not know he was a minor. At this point, he started saying, I'm only 16. And then at this point, I'm just standing there. I'm standing by my car. Like, I'm not doing anything. Didn't do anything the whole time. And then at this point, I call the police and let them know what's going on.
Were you in fear when they came?
I was, because there was 2 of them. They would not let me leave the yard. He's over here, got his chest acting like he's big and bad. I'm bumping up his chest and just literally refusing to let me leave. And then I have my 2 youngest daughter right here behind me. Well, I have my 1 youngest daughter and then her best friend behind me. And I'm just like, if they're not going to let me go and they're not letting them go, like, what are they fixing to do? So.
And did he look like he was a juvenile?
He did not. He looked like a grown man.
And how tall are you?
I'm 5 foot. And when I'm looking up to a giant, like, there's a difference.
Okay. And, what were you trying to accomplish that
I'm
day?
just gonna
I
say
was
it
just trying to get my daughter's phone
because
back.
they're talking about sizes. That's why I'm saying it. They are talking about sizes. She is much bigger than that boy is, and probably was when he was 16. Maybe not taller, but substantially bigger.
I have Guardian. I don't know if you know what that is, but it dings. Like, I can put like a siren on her phone and it tells me like the percentage of her phone. And like, if I hit the siren button, it don't matter if it is silent or not, the siren goes off. And the siren was not going off.
Okay. And, did you make any effort to strike anyone or hurt anyone?
No, no. After kicked off her shoes and said that she was going to beat my A, I literally just stood there. I was on the street. I was right beside my car.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions.
And I'm sorry, can I get your name again, please?
Chastity Matthews.
Matthews, but sorry, I apologize for referring to you as Mrs. Harrison.
That's fine.
Are you married to Mr. Harrison? You are.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you talked to him about what happened here before testifying?
We talk about everything.
And do you know this case depends on convincing the jury he acted in defense of you?
Yes, but there's a difference between a lie and actually, telling the truth.
And you went to a stranger's house because your daughter's phone pinged there?
Yes.
Do you know how accurate those pinging apps are?
Hers is very accurate, especially MM Guardian. It tells me exactly where she is.
But the phone wasn't exactly where it pinged to, did it?
It actually was.
So it was inside the house.
I don't know if it was inside the house or if it was in the yard. I'm not sure.
So you don't know.
The location was pinging at that house.
And where did law enforcement find the phone?
Once law enforcement, once
Where did they find it?
Once everybody left their house, he told me he found it in the yard. But that was after everybody had left their house and nobody was there.
Didn't he find it by a stop sign on the corner of the street?
Since I looked by the stop sign before I went to her door, I know it was not there.
So you looked there.
Yes, I did. I looked in the yard for 20 minutes.
You went around random people's property for 20 minutes?
Yes, I went around the ditch. Yes, sir.
And when you went to the door, did you ask to go inside the house?
I did not. Why would I ask to come inside?
You didn't ask to go inside the house and look for a phone?
No, sir.
Did you bang on the door?
I knocked on the door.
You didn't keep banging on the door when you
No,
couldn't
sir.
get in?
I knocked on the door.
Did you keep ringing the doorbell repeatedly?
I'm sorry?
Did you repeatedly ring the doorbell?
No.
Did the person at the home who answered the door, Bree, did she ask you to leave the property?
She did not.
Never did once.
Never did, not one time.
Did she put her mom on speakerphone to ask you to
She
leave?
did put her mom on speakerphone and her mom was yelling and cussing.
Did her mom ask you to leave the property?
No, she did not say that, not one time. And I was already leaving the property.
Did Chantel ask you to leave the property?
No, she did not. She
So
pulled
no-
me from leaving the property.
No one asked you to leave the property this
No,
whole
sir.
time? So are you saying that they're all lying about that?
Yes. If I'm.
Did anyone ever
And I'm
grab you?
telling to
Excuse me.
leave- Yeah, go
Did
ahead.
anyone ever grab you and prevent you from leaving the property? It was a yes or no question. She answered it.
Number one, if, you finished your answer, then you pause. He's gonna ask the next question. So both
That's
of you
fine.
don't talk at the same time, please. If you have something else that you think is a part of the answer, go ahead and I'll allow Mr. Hodlin to then restate his question.
Did anyone hold you to stop you from leaving the property?
They physically hold me, but when you have a grown man coming up on you, putting his chest out and telling me that I'm not leaving, then what do you expect?
Wasn't he there because you were threatening his mother?
No, they both came over together and stopped me.
Weren't they asked to be there because you wouldn't leave the property?
They was not, because I was never asked to leave the property. I was already leaving the property.
No one pushed you, no one,
I was going to call the police
but you never did.
because I was stopped.
Did you ever call the police about
Because
a stolen phone?
stopped.
Did you ever call the police about a stolen phone?
Yes,
When?
after the fact.
You didn't think about doing that beforehand?
When I go, hopefully it's a friendly neighborhood. I live in Pleasant View. When I go to your door, I'm hoping that you say, yes, we found the phone, or I'm sorry, we did not find the phone. not get on the phone being aggressive and cussing at me and everything, telling her, why did you open the door?
But they told you they didn't have the phone.
They did tell me they didn't have the phone, and that at that point I stated that.
So why wouldn't you leave at that point?
Please, and I was walking away.
Why wouldn't you leave at that point?
I did leave.
You stayed on the property though,
I stayed on the property because they were holding me on the property.
but no one put their hands on you.
He put his chest on me and told me that I was not leaving.
And you called your husband to come to the
Might have
residence.
called my husband.
Did you see anyone put hands on your husband?
Yes, he did.
Who did your husband hit first?
He didn't hit him first. The boy hit him first because he was trying to come after me and hit me.
The boy, you're saying the boy hit your husband first now?
Yes,
Did your husband say that to anyone at the time?
I seen it. I was standing there beside my car.
Did your husband tell the police that he cleaned his clock?
I don't know what my husband said.
Were you at the house when the police arrived after the incident?
I was.
Did your husband tell them that he was going to jail?
I don't know what he stated because I was inside with my kids.
You weren't outside or at the door or anything?
After they took him and put him in handcuffs, that's when I went outside and talked to the other deputy. And I told them that what are they going to do about them holding me hostage, my exact words, on that property and him putting his chest on me. And he said, tell it to the judge.
But you never went to the police department after to file a report? You
Did.
did.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a report?
I don't because they are not going to give me a report. So after that, the next day, my kids were riding go-kart around the neighborhood and she actually tried to say stuff to my kids. So at that point, the next day, I went and got an order of protection for my kids.
Was that approved?
It was approved temporarily. And then the judge told us don't have any contact.
But you don't live that close to them, do you?
About a block. We live in the same neighborhood.
But you don't know them.
I do not know them. No.
And did you see the son get knocked unconscious from your husband?
No, he was talking.
He never hit the ground after your husband hit him.
No. He was on the ground, but he never actually hit the ground.
But he was on the ground
He was on the ground, yes.
because your husband hit him.
I mean, they were fighting.
And did you see Miss Bracy bleeding from her head?
At that, I did not see any blood from her, but after she had hopped on my husband's back and was hitting him, all of a sudden the boy and Edgar was fighting, and all of a sudden she says, my head is bleeding, my head is bleeding, and that's when the fight stopped.
Did you ever call for medical help?
Yes, I did. I called 911.
You called 911.
I sure did.
What did you tell them?
I told them that my husband and there was a whole brawl.
But did you
know.
call for medical help is the question.
When I'm calling for a police officer, that's medical help.
But you just called to tell them what happened. Did you say, but you didn't call to ask for EMS?
I called 911.
But you didn't call to ask for EMS.
I called 911.
And after you called, you left and ran away with your husband?
I did because they were still going back and forth with me. And at that point, I didn't want nothing to do with them.
So if you were imprisoned, you didn't think it would be a good idea to stay there and tell the law
No,
enforcement
because
what
I called
happened?
dispatcher and tell them exactly where I lived and exactly where I was. When
And you were able to leave?
going back and forth with me, do you want another fight or do you want me to get in my car and actually go home?
So you had no issue leaving?
At that point, no.
Once you actually wanted to leave, you had no issue leaving?
No, sir. When they stopped me, after the fight happened, at that point, I had no problem getting in my car. Before, I couldn't leave because they were stopping me.
Without their hands?
His chest.
Who was between you and the mother?
I'm right here. He's right here. Mama's right here.
You weren't going towards the mother and yelling and
No,
anything at her?
no.
And you got the phone back, right?
Do I have what? I'm sorry.
You got the phone back, right?
I did.
After they found it down the street?
After they found it near the stop sign that I had already looked at.
So the Bracy family never had your daughter's phone that day?
I don't know who they are, but they shouldn't have came in that yard. Like the Braces.
And the kids in the
had nothing to
house.
do with,
And the kids in the house never had the phone that day?
I don't know if they had the phone or not. When I looked in that yard for 20 minutes. I continued to set off her alarm. Her alarm is a loud siren. When I went on there, it had 32% on it. If you set off an alarm, you hear a siren. I never heard a siren, not one time. That's when I went to the door after I looked for 20 minutes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Raise your right.
No.
Thank you, ma'am. You may step down.
All right.
Order.
Mr. Harrison.
Raise your right hand and be placed under oath.
Yeah, watch that chair. You don't believe me until you lean back. Would you please state your name for the record?
Edgar T. Harrison Jr.
Would you like him to spell that, please? All right. Mr. Harrison, where do you work?
Premier Truck and Trailer, Waste Connections,
And what do you do?
diesel mechanic.
All right, and how long have you been there?
Premier, 10 years, almost 10 years. Waste Connection, 6.
Okay, and how long have you lived in this neighborhood?
7 years now.
All right, and how did you even get involved in this mess?
My wife called me, said somebody's preventing her from leaving the property about a cell phone. I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? My oldest stepdaughter was telling me, crying, saying, Mom can't leave, blah, 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 we need help. I was like, okay, I'm on my way. I got dressed, came on down the block. I see some guy holding my wife, not letting her leave, and a lady. So I got out my truck. As soon as I got out my truck, the guy took his hand off my wife. I was like, look, I don't know what's going on. Everybody needs to leave. We can deal with this later. So I was trying to get my wife to go and get in her car. I got the boy to go to his house. I was talking to the mom. I was like, look, I just need you to go so we can leave. Let the cops sort it out. She kicked off her shoes and said, nah, we're going to do this. Next thing I know, she was walking toward my wife to fight barefoot. And I see the guy coming running.
Oh,
Looked like he had
guys,
something in his hands. I don't know what it was.
you got your stories mixed up. That's not what your wife said she said. That's not what your wife said happened. Your stories are mixed up.
I went to stop him from doing whatever he was about to do. Next thing I know, he hit me. I dropped him. I was not playing. It was like, you hit me first. So yeah, fight ensued. He hit me a few times. I got the better of him, got him on the ground, subdued him, made sure he couldn't do any more damage to me. Next thing I know, here comes his mom. She jumped on my back. I'm like, I shook her off, stood up. Next thing I know, she's bleeding. I took my shirt off. It's like, look, you need to stop the bleeding. She took my shirt, she put it on her head. I picked her son up. He's like, I'm only 16. I'm only 16. Dude, you hit a grown man. You shouldn't have fought. Shouldn't have hit me. You hit me first. I picked him up, took him to his mom, got in my truck, was like, look, cops are on the way. Let's let them just deal with it. Cop showed up. I was like, I already knew I was going to jail. As soon as he said he was a minor, I was like, I didn't know at the time I hit him, but as soon as he said it, I was like, well, I'm not going to fight with a cop outside, so I'll go ahead and go to jail, bond it out. Here we are today.
All right, and your testimony is who hit who first?
That boy hit me first,
And where did he hit you?
hit me in my face.
All right, and after you hit him back, did you kick him while he was on the ground?
Nah, I was getting body shots in with my hands. I sure did.
Okay,
Cause okay, you're a grown man, let's go. You wanted the fight, I didn't take it to you, you took it to me. I broke everybody up. There was no reason for him to come. There was no reason for his mom to fight. She kicked her shoes off. She wanted the fight. She chose that. I did not.
and how did, you say she jumped on your back?
Yeah. Her and my wife were doing whatever, yapping, whatever. Next thing I know, me and her son are going at it, and I'm on top of him and tenderizing his ribs up. Here she came. She jumped on me, started hitting me in the back, tried to hit me in the face. Like, okay, I just shrugged her off because it didn't bother me. I was more focused in on him because that's who the aggressor was.
Okay, I have no further questions.
Willoughby?
Yes, sir. Mr. Harrison, that's your wife?
Yes, sir.
Is she always that feisty?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you've sat in here obviously during the whole trial, heard everybody's testimony. To be more specific, whenever you were placed into custody, do you know what you said?
We made it 2 hours. I'm gonna keep going to the end. If you know you guys gotta go, which means OJ's gonna be late. OJ's still gonna go on today. It's just gonna be late. I'm gonna get my son to drive my daughter to work.
About what you did?
Yeah. Well,
What'd
you
you
told
say?
him it was self-defense.
No, you said you cleaned his clock.
Yes, sir.
And even today, you described your actions as tenderizing his ribs.
Yes, sir. We're fighting. Grown man.
I believe you also
Right.
said, well, he wasn't a grown man at the time, at least not legally.
True. After the fact, after he hit me and I beat him to the ground, then you're going to say, I'm just a minor? Okay. I didn't know that beforehand.
You didn't know these people at all,
No,
but you just showed up at their house.
And started hitting
not his
them.
house. No, sir. I showed up where my wife was being held against her will.
Bullshit.
You showed up at someone's home that you did not know
Correct.
and did not have permission to be there other than your wife saying, come help me.
Yep.
So let me just ask you this. And you, again, characterize it as tenderize his ribs, you cleaned his clock, you dropped him. Are you proud of it?
Not hitting a kid, no. But a grown man, at the time I thought was a grown man, yes, sir.
So you were proud of it?
Yes, I would drop anybody. If you come assault me and I can beat you, oh yeah, I got the better of you. Now, let's just say you and your wife are out.
I'm not married.
Well, I'm just saying, anybody, some kid comes and hits you, and you don't know if he's a minor, are you gonna fight back or are you gonna just let him hit you?
I think it's best if I ask questions.
So after the hit or before?
I'm
So-
confused about what you're even
So
saying.
you're not gonna fight back. You're just gonna take a beating.
No,
From
I'm
the
gonna
beginning.
ask you questions. It's not gonna work the other way.
I get that. But what I'm saying is if you're not given a chance to ask questions and he's hitting you, what are you gonna do?
I don't know what I would do. I know what you did.
Yes, sir. But so what you're saying is you would avoid fighting?
I'm telling you, we'll just play this game. I wouldn't go to someone else's home where I thought my phone had been stolen without law enforcement. That's what my answer to your question.
I get that. She called the cops.
Okay,
I found that out after the fact.
yes, but
I
then,
just went to protect my
but
wife.
were the police there when you were there?
No,
So didn't wait to call the cops, didn't wait on them.
Thank you
Just
so
went over there
much,
and handled
Heather
your own
Smith.
business.
Thank you.
No, sir.
Thank you.
I tried to prevent business.
I'm talking about your wife.
Oh, I don't know what all, I can't speak to that. I don't know. All I know is
Where was your wife's car when you arrived?
out in the street.
In the street?
Correct. It
Okay,
was not in
so,
nobody's driveway. It was on a public road.
logically, it would mean she drove there, right?
Correct?
And when you got there, were there police officers there?
No.
So to answer your question, why not just wait for the cops to get there? So there is no altercation.
We tried that. All I did was show up and got people to leave. That was it. I tried to get everybody to leave.
You got people,
To leave.
you got people to leave because you bloodied a woman up and dropped a kid,
I never
to
touched
use
her.
your word.
I never touched her.
She just bled out on her own.
I never touched her.
why-
Her son didn't punch her. Because we're both
Well-
going at it.
Well, you subdued him, to use your words.
Correct.
Is it possible why you,
Me and him were still fighting, sir.
sir? Is it possible while you were tenderizing his ribs, you might have hit her?
Yes, it is possible. Is it also possible for her son to hit her? Yes.
Well, from the testimony we've heard, he was unconscious because you dropped him.
He was
You
never,
cleaned his clock.
he was never unconscious
How do you know that?
because I was right there in front of him.
Yeah, tenderizing.
As soon as I was about to punch him dead in his face, he went out and said, "I'm just a kid. I'm 16. I didn't swing. I stopped."
But you sounds like you really wanted to.
Oh, I did.
Okay.
But I did it. As soon as he said he was 16, I stopped.
So let me ask you this. If not one, but two people that you did not know came over to your house, knocked on your door, started demanding property that you don't have in your possession, would you, given your general demeanor today, you're going to tell me you would calmly ask them to leave, or you going to drop them too?
No, I would have called the cops. Been like, look,
You didn't
I
this
got-
time?
I had nothing to do with it. I didn't even have my cell phone.
You had nothing to do with what?
That situation with the phone. If they came to my house and we had the cell phone,
Salty.
I'd have easily
thank
given it
you,
back.
Thank you.
because I'd have found out if my daughter had the phone, I'd have been like, well, how did you get that phone? Give it back to him.
You sure you wouldn't fight them? Because you seemed pretty
don't need-
proud of it.
Yeah, I'm a fighter.
Say that one more time.
I am a fighter. It's what I do. I fought in fights. I box. Is that a
You-
crime?
you- No, what you're accused of is, but do you currently still box?
No, I haven't boxed in about 15 years.
Other than sanctioned fights, have you been in a lot of those?
No,
Okay.
3 in my life.
And so if I understand both you and your wife's testimony, you are aware now that she was bleeding.
Yes,
You aware that she went to the hospital?
I am now.
You're aware by your own testimony that you punched this kid a lot.
Yes,
And so
I thought was an adult until I found
Oh.
out he was not.
he's not. So, or he wasn't at the time. So she goes to the hospital. If you believe them, he's knocked unconscious at some point. And then there's the third female who actually was not the homeowner, but a resident there. So y'all are saying to this jury that while she's bleeding and he's beaten at a minimum, and the other girl's nowhere to be found, they all get together and concoct a coherent lie?
Yeah, considering she already testified on the stand
Okay.
in General Sessions Court that she was guilty of being the aggressor. I mean-
That's,
You were there too.
I was there and that's not
Okay.
true, but
Well, you have access to this statement, right?
so do you.
That's true. So how about we get a copy of that and go ahead and show it
That's
to the,
between you and your lawyer, not me.
you got a point there.
But you really are asking them to believe that while all this is going on, they're not even close to each other because one's being cared for and taken to the hospital. The other one's writing a statement inside and the other female is across the street. Somehow they get it together and tell a consistent lie.
Are you
There's
sure,
stories,
John?
2 different stories, right?
Okay. Your wife's and yours are eerily similar. is-
Yeah,
Isn't it possible that perhaps you went back home and did that with your wife?
no.
Concocted your own version of events?
I only had a few minutes with my wife to tell her, hey, most likely I'm going to jail.
Well, you had more minutes than that family did.
No, I didn't, sir.
Redirect.
No.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. Before I, you may call your next witness.
That's all, Your Honor.
The defense is rested, Mr. Willoughby.
State has no rebuttal.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next step will be the closing arguments of the parties. And the state will have the right to open, and then the defense will be allowed to address you, and then the state has the right to make the final closing argument. Then proceed.
General Alvin will be doing for.
They don't teach you this in law school. They don't teach you none of this in school. So this is a case about a man who turned an ordinary neighborhood misunderstanding into violence. Violence that left a mother bleeding from her head and a teenage son unconscious on the ground. Evidence shows beyond a reasonable doubt that defendant Edgar Harrison committed aggravated assault, child abuse, and simple assault against Chantel Bracey and her son Braden. You heard statements from 3 witnesses, Brianna, Chantel, and Braden, and their accounts are consistent from start to finish. Brianna testified how Chastity the defendant's wife, came to the door angry, demanding entry, looking for a missing phone, wouldn't leave the property when she asked her to, wouldn't leave the property when her mother asked her to, and again, wouldn't leave when Miss Bracey asked her to. Then Edgar Harrison arrived, jumped out of his truck, and immediately became aggressive. Brianna saw him punch Braden multiple times, knock him to the ground, and kick him. She also saw Chantel rush to protect her son. Mr. Harrison struck her in the head as well, opening the deep wound that caused her to bleed all over her face. Braden, who's 16 years old at the time, a minor, told you that he tried to protect his mother. It was there generally to help de-escalate and just get between them to stop anything further from escalating further between the two. He did not imprison anyone. He did not prevent anyone from leaving. The fact of the matter is that Miss Matthews chose not to leave. She wanted to stay there to continue escalating the situation. She could have left throughout this entire period and she chose not to. She could have called 911 beforehand about a stolen phone, waited in her car that was parked on the street, let them arrive first, talk to them, give a story of events, and then proceed to go knock on the door with law enforcement. She chose not to do that. It was only apparently during the melee of events that she called the police and then she ran away. Didn't stick around to give an accurate timeline or history of events right after it happened. Her husband didn't do the same. Once they knew the cops were called, they got out of there. Deputy Ward confirmed those injuries, took statements, and then one of the other deputies he was with later supposedly found this stolen phone down the street in a ditch on, not call it sidewalk, but in a ditch by the stop sign. Not in the house, not in the Bracey's. There's no evidence it was ever there or anyone in that house ever possessed it, which kind of, as you know, caused this whole thing to escalate. When the deputies found Mr. Harrison later that evening, he obviously didn't deny it. You heard him on the stand. He was more than willing to tenderize Mr. Bracey's ribs up, as he put it. There was no accident. There was no, he claims defending his wife, but his wife was in no physical danger. You heard 3 statements that Mr. Bracey, Braden, never raised his fist. In fact, that he was about 20 feet away from his mother, where Mr. Harrison went to go intercept him and decided to, as he stated, clean his clock. Those aren't the words of someone defending someone. That's someone who gets off on physical violence. The aggravated assault here is, Mr. Willoughby stated earlier, serious bodily injury. Mrs. Bracey suffered a concussion from her blows that she received from Mr. Harrison. Mr. Bracey, 16 at the time, is a minor. Mr. Harrison admitted taking it to him, punching him, beating him up. That's child abuse. There's also a simple assault on Mr. Bracey as well, from the punches, etc., that he received. The defense argued defense of another, but Braden never attacked anyone. Chastity was in no physical danger, and she was more than welcome to leave because she was asked repeatedly to leave. Harrison never saw a weapon. Mr. Harrison never saw a weapon, never saw someone strike him or his wife, saw a teenager running, and decided that he wanted to go after him. From the evidence presented to you today, we hope that you find beyond a reasonable doubt that Mr. Harrison is guilty of the charges filed against him. Thank you.
Well,
I'm going to say first and foremost, this looks like of a bunch of adults not acting like reasonable adults. That's the bottom line. And the bottom line is it was a cell phone. I get it. They're expensive. You give them to kids, they get lost. You bing them. And yes, the mother goes over, she knocks on the door, rings the doorbell and asks about it. Now here's when it gets crazy. So a neighbor decides that she needs to solve the whole situation and amp it up. Why? I have no idea. The young lady has gone back in the house. She said she shut the door. She's talking on the phone. But no, I'm going to bring my 6-foot son with me and start screaming profanities, take off my shoes and fight you. That is not the way to settle an argument down. That's definitely intended on exacerbating it and starting a free-for-all. And they want to go on and on about Mr. Harrison. Yeah, if I thought my spouse was in danger, yes, you're going to go over there and defend him.
What if it was your child that was in danger? If it was your child that was in danger, would you go over and defend her? Why did she have to calm the situation down? Like, this woman was banging on the door of this girl with children inside. Trust me, if it was me, I would not go over to calm anything down. I would not be there to be the peacekeeper. No. If it was your child, you just said you would defend your husband. What if it was your 19-year-old child who had little kids in her charge? Would you go over there to peacekeep?
6 feet tall, chest bumping your wife. I'm not going to sit there and go, well, let me see your ID, make sure you're an adult. He's 6 foot, he looks like a grown man, then he hits you. Are you supposed to card him again and say, oh, excuse me, are you an adult? If somebody hits you, your natural reaction, I don't know about you, but I'm hitting you back until you're going down.
He didn't get hit. He hit.
So what I'm trying to say is, don't pick a fight if you don't want to be in a fight. There was no reason for this to have ever gone to this level. I understand cell phones are important and people want them back, kids lose them. Who knows where that phone was? They said the policeman found it later. We don't know if it was in the house, if a kid picked it up or what. There's no telling. Yes, did it end up back in the yard? Absolutely. Did people act stupidly? Yes. But when you're instigating something and somebody reacts back equally, excuse me, I would submit that his actions were more than justified. I mean, I have a wife that's 5 foot, I'm 5'10". I mean, I would be intimidated, a 6 foot person on top of him. Yes, I would go in to defend him. You're not going to wait if it's a dear loved one. That's very different than if you're a neighbor going over, enticing an argument when you know it's over a phone. 2 different scenarios. One's trying to care for a 5 foot wife. The other one is a lady who she told you she's lived there 20 years and she could settle anything in that neighborhood. No, ma'am. This is how we start fights in a neighborhood. And I would submit that if you use your reasonable man standard, he is not guilty. He was just trying to defend his family. Then they got out of there, called the police to try to resolve it. Yes, I mean, it wasn't good. Nobody handled it well. But you don't say you're coming to diffuse an argument and start screaming profanities, take off your shoes, and bring a 6 foot son with you into that. if she didn't think he was gonna look at us as our backup. Anyway, I hope today you find there's a reasonable doubt on this and find my client not guilty. Thank you so much for your time.
Willoughby?
Zach, you still in Pennsylvania?
There's one thing I will agree with Ms. Fordyce about is if you take her version of events as she portrayed them to you, yes, he's not guilty. But what the judge has told you and what I'll tell you now, and I think he's already told you in his opening instructions, what we say is not evidence. What you heard from the stand is evidence. So what have you heard? You heard 3 people who gave statements at the time of this tell a very consistent story. These people were not around each other by their own testimony. One's at the hospital or in the back of an ambulance. The other's across the street. The other one's at home. If you're to believe them, they somehow got together, even though it was physically impossible, and told an elaborate lie. Or these 2 went home. He realized by his own testimony, oh no, I just hit a kid, and you come up with something. And the only something you can really come up with is, it's almost like kindergarten. He hit me first. That's what you got. So, and I want to press this home. These folks and the one that isn't here, they're not on trial today. One's bleeding, has her head kicked or hit or something. The other kids got knocked out. And yet they're supposed to, when confronted with a lady, and you can judge her demeanor from the stand, comes over with, I'm assuming, that same attitude to a piece of property that isn't hers, asking and accusing people of things they don't have and did not do. They're the ones who are supposed to calmly say, will you please leave my property? I'm going to call the police, which they do when she won't leave. She testified she didn't call the cops after all this happened. Is it more reasonable for that person, if you think your cell phone is stolen, to call someone who looks a lot like this guy and say, hey, officer, my phone is lost. It's showing up at this house. Can you help me? Can we go over there and get it? Could you at least go with me? Because you're going to have a gun, and ask about it. Nope. She just rolls up. And then when that doesn't work, you call in the boxer, not the police. And he comes and does what he testified he does well, and gets in a fight. Which of those 2 versions of events is more reasonable? And
He had me until he said, because you got a gun. Wait, wait, sir, relax, calm down. We're not going to do that today.
makes more sense. If somebody's banging on your door, are you going to call for help that's across the street and then call the police? Probably. And that's exactly what they did. But by the time they got there, somebody's knocked out, somebody's concussed, and somebody's real scared. I'm just going to ask you to ask yourself that question. Which of these 2 makes more sense? What these people did and said, or what they said? That's really what it's about. Did it happen? Obviously, he's admitted to it. Was he justified? I would submit no. And for that very reason, he's guilty on all 3 counts.
Okay. The 3 counts are child abuse, assault, and the assault charge has 2 lesser, something or another, and the 3rd count that I just can't remember. We're going to find out. We're going to skip the jury instructions and go the whole way to the end. Again, you cannot hear the jury. You can't. I can't control the audio in this courtroom. So we're going to hear the jury say their verdict, but we're not going to hear it. And it takes the judge a little bit, but the judge will repeat everything back for us. Just give him a second. The verdict is not what any of you think it's gonna be.
All right, I'm advised that the jury has been able to reach a verdict, so we're going to bring the jury in and receive their verdict. So you will bring the jury in, please.
Yeah.
I just put a poll up. Is he guilty of child abuse?
You're good. All right, thank you. Be seated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm advised that you've been able to reach a verdict. Is that correct? All right, is the foreman or forelady present? If you will, please, if you'll stand and let me go over the verdict form with you.
Vote and
As to
see.
count one of the indictment.
Nope, Judge. Nope, Judge. Not yet. We're doing a poll. Is he guilty of child abuse? Is he or isn't he? There are 44 people watching. Let me see how many votes we got. Oh, there we go. I cannot see how many votes we got. Usually it has a count, and hold on. I'm gonna go over here. See if I can see the count. There we go. You shut up. 12 votes out of 45 people. You guys don't know if he's guilty of child abuse? I can't vote. It won't let me. I know on your screen there's a box that says yes and no. It's not anywhere on my screen. I can't click it. I can't. Okay. 16 votes. Alright, guys. We're up to 62%. I'm going to end the poll. 62% of you say yes, he's guilty of child abuse. See what the jury says.
In the charge of child abuse, how does the jury find the defendant, Mr. Harrison, guilty or not guilty? All right. As to count 2 of the indictment, in the charge of aggravated assault, how does the jury find the defendant, Mr. Harrison, guilty or not guilty? No. And as to count 3 of the indictment, as to the charge of assault, I believe it is, how does the jury find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Actually, 2 that we found are not guilty.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't go through the lesser included offenses. You're correct. Thank you for that. So count 2, then the lesser included offenses, how does the jury find as to reckless aggravated assault?
Not.
As to reckless endangerment? All right, and the third, so not guilty as to reckless aggravated assault, not guilty as to reckless endangerment. As to assault, how does the jury find? Not guilty, all right? So as to count 2, all of the lesser included offenses are not guilty. Then moving to count 3 for the charge of assault, how does the jury find guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Guilty, all right. And ladies and gentlemen, if I understand correctly, to recap the verdict, as to count 1, the verdict is not guilty as to all charges. On count 2, not guilty as to all charges. On count 3, on assault, you found the defendant guilty. Is that the unanimous verdict of all of you? All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude your service for this case. I wish I could tell you that will conclude your service entirely, but we have a trial.
Just find it weird that they found him guilty of assault on a child, but not child abuse.
Next week as well. Do we have enough without using them? Or you want to come back next week? Anybody raise your hand if you do, so. All right, those of you who don't want to come back, just see the clerk and get your excuse for work and you're free to go. Those of you who do want to come back, just make sure that your names are included in the jury list and check that number on Monday night or Tuesday night, because the trial is on Wednesday, I think, right? Yeah, just go back in the jury room so the clerk can go over that with
Some
you,
of the
please.
people in this jury are going to the next trial.
Thank you.
All right. We'll order a pre-sentence report. Any reason we can't set the sentencing on March the 5th, the day that I've already got a number of sentencing hearings? Make sure we get that original verdict form back. Mr. Willoughby and Mr. Hodlin, I was suggesting March the 5th. That's the day I've already got sentencing hearings in
Monday,
other cases.
We'll be here all day anyway, so.
Right. And if necessary, we can roll it over to the 6th. I tried to determine March the 6th when I had it marked off on my calendar, and I can't find out anything other than that's the day the Alamo fell in 1836, and I may have marked it off for those celebrations.
Mr. Harrison says he may be out of town on the 5th for his job, but he could do the 6th. You can't do that.
Doesn't really matter. If he's a defendant, he's got to set for sentencing hearing unless we do it on a different day. March the 10th at 1:30.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. March the 10th at 1:30.
Close to my birthday.
No.
We will order the pre-sentence report and set it for March the 10th at 1:30. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm putting it in my phone so we can get his sentence. Judge Wolf. Got it. March the 10th. I got it for 7 a.m. And I will do my best. I will do my best. Thanks, Sandra. Have a good day at work. Okay. I am going to... Hopefully it's her trial next. Probably not. It doesn't sound like it. I feel like they would have mentioned it at some point in some way. But... Gonna do it live? No, because that's at 10:30. I will most likely be at work. But I will get the sentence. It's in my phone, and if you guys can just remind me too, that would be great. I mean, if you really want to see the sentence, then you should not rely on me. You're right, Zach. He doesn't pull his streams, so if I miss it, I can just go back and get it. But he does pull some streams. He only keeps some up. He pulls the rest of them. And with our luck, it would be the stupid sentencing that he pulls. Whew. All right. I'm going to start OJ. I'll see some of you there, and I'll see the rest of you tomorrow. Have a great night, guys. Bye.
Well, I thought I'd write a happy song. I found a chat room where I belong. You don't know how much it means to me. With such a groove, I'm less lonely. Oh, Kathy's the creator. She's leading the way. At Court Vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her smile shines bright. She's got that grace. Come join the fun. It's a welcome and play. I can count on distraction from my pain. 'Cause this creator takes you there and back again. Kathy is the heart here, a joy she can't hide. Oh, Kathy's the creator, she's leading the way. At court vibes, we laugh and we stay. Her style is classy, she's always top shelf. Don't take my word, come and see for yourself. Her cases are new with a twist or two. I really like them, I believe you will too. A little lifeline passed along in rhyme. Why don't you join us? It's a guaranteed good time.